Hey everybody, Trey Campbell here, coming at you live with a new recap video. Sorry it's been a few days. Just had a lot going on, not had time to cut a video. Today's special though because today is a red recap, so streak is yet over again. I think I made it, 7 or 8 days back in the red seat. Not terribly, about $294.5 altogether, so not terrible, but it was definitely avoidable, and that's why I'm making this video. I want to go over exactly why I failed in this trade, and by that I hope you can understand where I'm coming from. So if you watched my video on how exactly to trade my charts, you'll have to excuse me because I broke every rule that I have, and that's my own fault, and that's why I lost money today. But let's just jump right into it. This is /GC gold futures June contracts for gold, and basically what happened was this thing just tanked all day, and then we started building some accumulation now, so we'll expect something tomorrow, but as of right now this thing is just tanked all day. And basically when I came into this market, or when I pulled the charts up this morning, we were trading about right here, and what I noticed it started picking up support, and this looked really good. And let me just zoom in on this really fast so you can see what I'm talking about. So if you look right here, you can see it came to a tick to the -1.5. We found support, everything was looking good. So instead, just like I said in the other video, if you take the first leg, you risk the second leg tearing through and the trend continuing, and your reversal is no good, right? I used to have another strategy that I would use where I would hedge the position, or not really hedge it, but just kind of play the other way. If my low didn't hold, I would then enter this short position and then let this one max out and let this one just run as long as it'll run, and that was a pretty good strategy of mine. However, I didn't deploy that this morning. Instead, I had it in my mind, and this is just trading, okay? I don't care who you are, and I've got another video on my channel where the biggest loss I ever took, and it was a very similar situation. I just won't give up. I won't let up, and that's my problem. And I get too aggressive and try to take too much size, and it just never works out for me, and I continue this same flaw in my trading, and it's costing me a lot of money. So anyway, let's jump into it. So this thing legged down, right? Broke the low, legged down, and it came into this -1.5 beautifully, right? So instead of waiting on that second higher low entry, like I said on that one video, that's the safe bet, right? I went ahead and took this first leg, and I got it out of the money, and for 13.08, I think, somewhere in there, expecting this thing to bounce up, and either to where I could sell these $25, $20 contracts for $50 or $45 or whatever it was I had, just trying to double my money right here. And or if this come up but yet did not give me enough to get out, but came back and made that lower or that higher low, I then could add to the position right here, and that would give me more confidence going into the trade that this was going to break out. Okay, well, that was the original plan. What happened was this thing just barely came up and then broke through. Okay, well, instead of realizing that and thinking, okay, well, maybe I need to flip my my bias, I had it in my mind that we were so oversold, right? We're past the -1.5. We're coming in, -2 is right here. So what I say to myself is, okay, well, that's fine. I will just wait till see if we hit -2, and if we do, at that point I will buy more contracts and take take that one, and then as this one pops, I'll be able to, just leave this one on for a lottery ticket, and let this one bring me out of debt with this one and profit. Well, we hit -2, and we didn't even really get a bounce. We just kept tearing through. So I got those contracts on, which I'm ashamed to even tell you, I had 10 contracts right here. I had 5 right here. So every time I'm moving down, I'm getting more. It's the definition of averaging down. It's ridiculous, and I'm almost ashamed to put this on as I'm trying to build a foundation to show you guys how to trade. It kind of is embarrassing to see, that I myself would even do this. However, I did it, so I might as well post it. And as this thing rolled even lower, we got down to about a 2.5 deviation level, somewhere right around in here. And I thought to myself, well, this is it. This is a good level, So what did I do? I then purchased 15 contracts down here. Now these are all out of the money. So these 15 contracts, I had like a total of like $200 in them. These contracts here I had pretty cheap, and then it all totaled up to about $550 in total contracts purchased. The good thing is I did buy out of the money. I didn't buy at the money, so my loss was capped smaller than it could have been. And then we did get this pop. However, these contracts did see some profits, but these were, and really the smartest thing for me to have done was when I was up about $200 on these contracts to just close everything down. At least get this out and to go ahead and accept the loss and just take that, because that way I would have almost been at least flat today. If I'd have done that, I would have been almost flat. But I decided in my mind that I was going to hold this until I seen green, until I seen a profit, and that was the mistake that I made, and this thing fizzled out and just did this for the rest of the day. We didn't get any more, we didn't get any less, we just kind of dipped out. So every one of these contracts ended up, even this one down here, ended up expiring at the max loss, 0, right? They were worth 0. And, it was a good lesson learned. Now, let me tell you, first and foremost, I do not have a problem rolling down a position. I don't see that being an issue, especially in an overbought, oversold condition, especially with Nadex, because you're capped on your prices, right? So you can only lose so much. So if your first entry wasn't great, you can kind of build into a position as the time rolls on, because you don't really know for a fact what the charts are going to do. So with that being said, I'm going to show you exactly how this chart should have been traded, and I'm going to try to eliminate the confusion even I had for myself. So once this contract failed, if I decided not to flip it around and go short at this point, which I probably wouldn't, just because we were at a -1.5, and it's not really smart to go, your bias is to the upside at this point. In my mind, it's hard for me to get away from that. I want to see buying down in these levels. I don't like to see, shorting even further. But that's definitely a option. But the way that I should have played this was simple and easy to understand. Once this failed, and since I got in on that first leg, once we didn't put in the lower high and I get out and everything's good, and it started tanking again, I should have just let it tank out. So I'm at my max loss up here. There's no, at this point, that's a lottery ticket. It could just shoot back up and I get in the money and, make good money on this thing. However, what I should have done is I should have waited for the market to tell me when to get in. And I could have literally made everything I lost right here back, at least went flat, by waiting for this simple move right here. When we finally moved up, We finally put in that lower high, or that higher low, I'm sorry. And from here to here, you need to understand, could have made back everything that was negative here and been flat on this trade. So this trade would have yielded me 0. However, I had 3 or 4 trades today, maybe 5. That would have put me up $300-$400 in the green. So, this could have been an easy fix, right? And instead, I decided to go all crazy on it. But that's the correction. If you get in here and it does not work, it fails. All I should have done was simply wait for this higher low, nailed that entry right there as perfect as I could, and then took profit right here. Now you could have done that, if you'd have went in 5 contracts here and you'd have went in 10 contracts here, you probably would have been green. I'm talking about going in 5 contracts here and going in 5 contracts here. That's where you would be flat. You'd be flat. If you'd have done 10 contracts here, you would have made money. So just a little lesson there I wanted to throw out there. That's just the way that I would have, should have traded that, and I didn't. And it just resulted in a bad day. So I've got some weeklies on this now, and I've got another day for this thing to get a pop. So we're going to see what happens on that. But as of right now, I'm sulking and I'm feeling sorry for myself. And I'm doing that because I see now and I understand, what I should have done. And this right here should have been the indication that, okay, that obviously was not the bottom. All right, so the next thing to do, the next logical smart thing to do is to wait for this thing to put in a higher low. Boom, nail it, take my profit at the high, just like I say in the videos, like we do every, like I do every day. But for some reason, it's just, I can't explain to you why, and it's just one of those things that you go through as a trader and you just have to deal with, and you overcome it, and then it seems like one will just get you out of nowhere, and you'll have in your mind that you believe that this thing is going to take off, and because it's so overdone or whatever, and you make it what you want it. And that's the problem. Instead of seeing what the chart is doing and just simply trading the chart, I'm trading Trey's chart. I'm trading what I think it's going to do. Instead of reacting, I'm predicting, trying to tell the market what to do. And in my mind, it's going wrong, and I'm like, why is this happening? But in reality, I had the bias in my mind all along. You see what I'm saying? You create these boundaries for yourself, and you create these mind traps like that. You get stuck in one direction and you can't stop. So that's my 2 cents. Red today, $294 or $5. So I'll kick back tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. We'll start over again on a run and see how long we can take it. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's not huge, $296. I had a tremendous week last week, well over $2,000. So it's not like this is killing me, but it's killing my pride. It's killing my ability to, have confidence in myself and know that I'm going to take the best stuff. And that's the biggest thing with trading, is you have to trust yourself, and you have to know that you can trust your own self and your own judgment and your own set of rules. When you break that and you become, you're not a man, you're not a person of your word. When you can't even keep your word to yourself and follow your rules, you're not a man or a woman of your word. You have got to follow your own set of rules and hold yourself to that higher standard when trading. The moment that you don't, the moment that you step out, it's going to seem great for a minute, because you're going to get cocky, because you're going to win a few, and you're going to think, well, I can do this. Next thing you know, the market is going to just strip you of every prideful belief that you have and humble you back down and make you realize that you are not in control. The only thing that you can do is trade the charts and react to the way that the charts are trading, and take it one step at a time and not get too overconfident in anything. Stay very humble. Take your money, take your green, and get out and just play that system over and over again. Don't look away from that. Stick to your rules. Whatever your rules are, they're very important, and you got to stick to them. Till next time, guys. Trey Campbell. Today's date is 3/28/2019. I'm out.